that's what makes up who I am. And in my album, the confliction of today is how can I use my leadership, you know, knowing what to do with it or when to utilize it, you know, for better or for worse. That's the confliction, you know, because you come from this place of negativity, and you come from this place of not having nothing or following the people you look up to, and now you're taking the lead from thousands of people around the world. That right there brings a whole lot of change. So that's the confliction, you know, do I utilize it in a negative way or in a positive way? And that's the core of this album.
Do you feel you still have to prove yourself? And do you think you will always feel that way to some degree?
I always have to prove myself. That's what keeps me on my toes, challenging myself. Not saying I made it. Everybody like, you made it, you know. But in my heart, I still feel like there's so much more for me to accomplish. You know, this is my first year. It's my first major album, you know, and it's successful. And I'm honored that people respect it and you know, love it and love what I can bring to the table and you know, hip hop, the culture. But at the same time, I feel like this is just the beginning. So I always got to feel like I have to prove myself and challenge myself to the next level.
Stay hungry.
Got to.
Have there been any reactions to your music that have surprised you, either songs or projects where people reacted either better, worse, different, surprise?
Yeah, my first album, Good Kid, Mad City. This was me being fresh in the game, and I already knew what songs. Well, in my head, I knew what songs were going to be big records, you know, radio single. I'm playing the game. I'm a new artist, and you know, I have enough knowledge just going through meetings and going to labels and trying to get signed in my early 20s and things like that. I just know how the game works. So I'm creating these records, you know, for the radio and you know, just for people, just ear candy for people to enjoy. So in my mind, I'm thinking these are going to be the biggest records on the album, you know. But turns out that a song called Mad City, where I'm just rapping for maybe 40 bars or 30 bars, is probably the song with the biggest connection on that project.
Interesting.
And that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But it also gave me an insight clear enough to know sometimes it's not about, you know, what you think is going to happen or what you feel, you know. People connect to things in strange ways, you know, and at the end of the day, you have to go with that feeling.
Absolutely.
When are we going to understand that we are put on earth to love? That's all it's about. Everybody want to figure out how complicated life is and break it down. This is what I truly think. I really think that it's going to keep going on. War going to keep going on. Frustration going to keep going on. Anger going to keep going on till we finally go back down to the simplest word, love. And when God sees that, then we have the answer. But until then, it's going to be warfare.
Give us a picture of what Compton is now if you were a youth or a teenager or like a young adult growing up, and how it maybe differs from that generation and that time.
I would say Compton now is, as far as the gang culture, it's way more of a, how can I say this? I wouldn't say trend. I would say something that's in you to do, to be a part of a gang. Super heavy. I mean, I think it's worse because back then, you be in a mind state of a 16-year-old and you get into the mentality of being from your hood or your block, right? 16. But now, I got little cousins that's 9 years old that's ragging or flagging. You dig what I'm saying? Where it's really fucking it up even more because ain't nobody schooling the youth no more. You know what I mean? Because all the older cousins, they locked up now. Of course the pops is gone, but now the cousins is gone. You know what I mean? At a young, tender age. So it's really getting to a real sad point, you know what I mean? But we still have our fun moments where we have our youth centers and all that, which is some positive shit to help the city, but it needs to be more, you know. And that's the type of shit that people don't understand. This is bigger than music for me. You know what I mean? I done seen the city. I done had uncles pass and cousins pass in the city. You know what I mean? I'm trying to take it to the next level where motherfuckers can at least embrace each other and not sweat over the motherfucking colors. Because at the end of the day, we're just fucking up ourselves anyway. You know what I mean? It's too much motherfucking pain. I don't want to do too much motherfucking pain losing people to even keep glorifying that shit. You know what I mean? I mean, that element is always in me, but at the end of the day, we all know it ain't right.
What would you like your legacy as an artist to be?
My legacy as an artist, someone that wasn't afraid to push boundaries, someone that wanted to step out the box and always challenge, you know, himself. Coming from Compton, I think in just the lifestyle in general, it always been glorified as, you know, the reality of gangster rap. And that's something I can't escape. You know, I was born and raised, I've been in the lifestyle, and it's in my music, it reflected my music. So when I first stepped into it, it kind of threw people off balance, that I wasn't glorifying everything that I've seen, you know, or actually done, you know, in the streets. So that was a step out the box from the initial gate, you know, and that was me challenging myself to do something a little bit different, you know, represent myself. So with that being the start, I always want that to be something that you will remember me by. Someone that always challenged himself and not went toward other people's standards and just pushed the envelope a little bit more. Not just in art, but just in life in general.
I'm on a hunt right now. And I got a plan, and people will see it, you know, whether it's this album or this next album. But before I'm done with this, y'all gonna say, that boy, he did something else that we didn't think no man can do in music.
Now, what is that plan? What are you trying to do? You trying to change the mindset of people? Because, you know, Tupac said once that he may not change the world, but he'll plant the seed that could spark that change.
He sparked the idea. I think the misconception of everything is when people preach, they come from a standpoint to try to change the world. You can't change the world overnight. You're not gonna do that. You got to start with one person, two people, and that's my neighborhood. I always, you know, good kid. Always, it came from a perspective where, okay, he's in the city, he's around all this madness, you know, but how he's gonna reflect from that. You know what I'm saying? So I always say from my neighborhood first, at least to spark the idea of it. You know, whether, however you configure what change is. You know, change can be okay. Let's walk down the street, let's go down the block right here. With these Crips right here, that's okay. Let's put the past to the end and say, all right, we got little kids, we got little siblings now, let's show them a different way of life, a different way of living. Rather than just continue the cycle of my little brother going over here and smoking the next homie. You know what I'm saying? They got relations with my other partner. Now it's just a cycle. That's change right there. And that can be branched out into something so much more bigger. But it's all in the message. It's all in what we feed the people. You dig what I'm saying? I could talk slick all day. I can do that on record. I got the wittiest wordplay. You feel me? But at the end of the day, how much more can I do that? How long can I do that without saying, okay, I'm not even challenging myself no more?
Do you feel like rappers should be more responsible for their lyrics?
Yes.
What would you define as irresponsible?
You talk about murder and death, and you don't talk about the pain. Or you talk about killing and robbing and stealing, you don't talk about jail and death and betrayal and all the things that go with it.
Very true. That's it. A lot of people think I put down what others do. No, I don't put down what people talk about and what that's their choice. I talk about it too. I talk about murder, I talk about violence, I talk about all of that. But the backstory behind it is the consequences for it. Who gives the consequences for it? Who's going to pay for these things? Not to glorify it, to educate you on it, to know that it's real. You know, these words are powerful. You know, I got homeboys that's dead, that's in prison, and sometimes you get a lot of artists that just glorify that. So these kids look at it, you know, they think it's nothing but cool until they put in a real situation where they back against the wall and it's all over. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's what separates me as an artist.
I'm gonna give you the gift and I'm gonna give you the curse. Yeah, for me, I'm responsible for myself to know what I'm talking about. That's where my responsibility comes, to know 100% what I'm talking about, because I'm a witness. Now, you know, it's your choice to listen to it, but it's my responsibility to know exactly what I'm talking about, you know, and to always give you both sides of the fence. I can't just write. I can't come up with an album if it's not from self-experience in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what make records like Black of the Berry so powerful for me, you know?
I think it was one of your freestyles. You talk about being a good kid growing up in a mad city.
Yeah, good kid in the mad city, that's something that I represent. That's something I represent for the whole city of Compton. I feel that we all good kids in a mad city. You know what I mean? It's just the circumstance that's around us turns us into the evils that the world, puts upon the adolescents that's growing up in the city, whether it's gang violence, of course, whether it's police brutality, whether it's drugs, whether it's women. You know what I mean? It all stems from being a kid, and it's just the shit you exposed to. You know what I mean? I was exposed to it too, but I was fortunate enough to have a active pops in my life. You know what I mean? To show me the stepping stones, or show me what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Most of the friends I grew up with didn't have no pops. You know what I mean? If they did, they weren't active. You know, so I was real fortunate. I mean, he went through all that shit before, and out of respect, I transcended my lifestyle and patterned it after his. Not after his, but, you know what I mean, guiding the right way he wanted me to do, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I got into my ignorant shit, everybody did, but at the end of the day, I stayed in progress of what was right, you know what I mean?